When you hear the names Ray J and Whitney Houston in the same sentence, it's hard not to pause. On paper, their lives couldn't have been more different. She was a multifaceted actress and vocalist. He was best known for being Brandy's brother, a reality star, and a polarizing pop culture personality. And yet, in the final chapters of Whitney's life, their names became intertwined. For Ray J, it was the start of a quiet psychological unraveling that's continued to surface in strange, erratic ways more than a decade later. Publicly, he's tried to move forward with new ventures and new relationships. But behind the scenes, many fans have noticed the instability, impulsive behavior, and what looks like a man silently battling something much bigger than himself. Before we jump into today's video, don't forget to scoop up something to munch on at rrgsnacks.com, our online concession stand that has an assortment of Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried goodies, and butter toffee peanuts. Ray J was already connected to the entertainment world, not only through his music and acting, but also through his famous sister, Brandy Norwood. By then, Whitney had already worked closely with Brandy, most memorably in the 1997 adaptation of Cinderella, in which she played Brandy's fairy godmother. Whitney finalized her divorce from Bobby Brown in 2007. A year later, she was photographed enjoying dinner at a Beverly Hills restaurant with Ray J. From there, they jetted off to Las Vegas to watch a boxing match. By 2010, things ramped up, and ABC News reported they started dating on and off around that time. Paparazzi couldn't get enough. Whitney, nearly 2 decades Ray J's senior, was suddenly being linked to a younger man who, at the time, was more known for a certain infamous tape than for anything profound. People began asking, was this a genuine relationship or just a friendship that got misinterpreted? Was Ray J a comfort to Whitney during a difficult time, or was he chasing clout, leaning on her name to boost his own relevance? What made things even messier was how often Ray J appeared in Whitney's orbit during those final years. In November 2010, they stepped out for dinner in Atlanta. Many saw the outing as the couple officially confirming their romance. The Daily News reported that after their date, Ray J postponed his promotional tour to spend the night with Whitney at the Ritz-Carlton. However, Ray J hopped on Twitter to write, "I am not in a relationship with Whitney. She is a great friend of mine. I had dinner with her in Atlanta the other day. That's all. Damn." Then came some salacious allegations. In September 2011, Ray J was in Vegas for Floyd Mayweather's fight. While attending Diddy's post-fight party, not Diddy. No, not Diddy. Ray J got into an altercation with the rapper Fabulous and got his tail locked up. After his release, Ray J called into Power 105.1 to defend himself, but the rant spiraled into a spectacle.
When you want to disrespect me and the money team, and we got 7 Rolls Royces outside and we just made 350 racks on the... Don't disrespect me. I'm going to smack you up again, fool.
All right, so Ray J,
that's all I'm saying. Niggas saying Ray J got beat up. I'll sock that nigga in the face, my nigga.
So you punched Fab in the face?
One time. Hey, all I'm saying is if you got Fab number, tell that nigga to send a picture of his face right now.
Fabulous responded by saying,
"This shit is more a war on drugs than a war between Ray J and me. You know what I'm saying? This nigga is high and coked up or on pills and..."
A chilling comment in hindsight, it now reads less like a diss and more like a foreshadowing of the spiral that was yet to come. Months later, in February 2012, celebrities made their way to Los Angeles for that year's Grammy Awards. Ray J was among the people who were with Whitney during that time. On February 9th, they attended a pre-Grammy nightclub event hosted by Kelly Price. Former X Factor contestant Stacey Francis was also in attendance. Stacey performed an Etta James tribute, and afterwards she was led to a VIP section where Whitney was hanging out. Apparently, Stacey and Whitney had met before. However, a source told The Hollywood Reporter that it didn't seem like Whitney remembered her, but she was cordial at first. The scene reportedly changed minutes later when Ray J stepped into the conversation. The source said, "Whitney just got belligerent." Stacey confirmed in a statement published on HuffPost that Whitney became enraged when she saw her talking to Ray J. Stacey said, "She didn't understand our relationship. I had known Ray for over 20 years, and he was like family to me. He kept saying, 'She is family. She is family. It's okay.' But Whitney wouldn't hear of it." Thankfully, the situation was diffused, and Stacy said Whitney was still one of her idols, and she had the utmost respect for her. 2 days later, on February 11, 2012, Whitney complained of a sore throat, and an assistant suggested she take a bath before preparing for Clive Davis's annual pre-Grammy party. Hours later, Whitney was found unresponsive in the bathtub of Suite 434 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. Her passing was ruled an accidental drowning. Substances were found in her system, and yet no serious criminal investigation was launched into who supplied the substances. Ray J was reportedly at home when he heard the news, and he rushed to the hotel to try to see her. TMZ reported that law enforcement turned him away, leaving him visibly upset. It didn't help that sources claimed Ray J overheard police make a disrespectful comment about Whitney's lifeless body, followed by loud laughter. Whitney was pronounced deceased around 3:55 p.m. on February 11th. Later that night, he and Brandy showed up at a pre-Grammy party. Whitney was supposed to be there, but they turned it into an impromptu tribute to her instead. Ray also intended to use the event to celebrate Brandy's birthday. Onlookers told People magazine that Ray J, dressed in a hoodie and sunglasses, couldn't keep himself together and was sobbing at his VIP table. A staff member brought out Brandy's birthday cake and sparklers that he ordered. However, the items remained untouched on the table, and a source stated Brandy and Ray J left 20 minutes after they arrived. Grief, especially grief that is sudden and traumatic, can leave long-lasting emotional scars. According to the American Psychological Association, people who experience the loss of a loved one under unexpected or violent circumstances often suffer from what's known as complicated grief. It's a prolonged, intense period of mourning that doesn't subside over time. This kind of grief can disrupt emotional regulation, alter sleep and eating patterns, and it can lead to self-destructive behavior. It can even mimic the symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD. In Ray J's case, the trauma wasn't just personal, it was public. But not everyone sympathized with him. Bobby Brown's sister, Leola, publicly accused him of playing a darker role in the singer's final moments.
I saw Ray J coming out of the hotel, hiding his head. I looked and I said, why is he hiding? And I put it all together. When I first heard she passed away, I said, my God, somebody gave her a bad bag.
Cocaine.
Yes. And then I saw Ray J, and it all added up. So I am going to believe that Ray J, he was, like she said, a runner boy. For some reason, or he knows somebody that sells drugs, and he was buying them for Whitney.
In a statement, Ray J's rep said Leola hadn't even been in contact with Whitney for more than a year, and she was nowhere near the scene of Whitney's passing. His rep urged media outlets not to republish these defamatory stories and warned of legal action should they proceed to do so without verifying the truth. In the weeks immediately after her passing, Ray J appeared publicly only a handful of times. At a community event in Los Angeles in March 2012, he briefly addressed reporters who asked about Whitney by saying, "I really miss my friend." Whitney's addiction struggles were well known, and some believe those around her didn't do enough to intervene. Whether or not that's fair, being close to someone in their final spiral can leave a person riddled with what-ifs. That type of guilt that Ray J was experiencing doesn't fade. In fact, according to a 2015 study published in the Journal of Traumatic Stress, guilt over a loved one's death can increase a person's risk for depression and substance use, especially if that grief is unacknowledged or dismissed by others. Then, the month after Whitney passed away, Ray J went on a quick 32-hour trip to China. Upon his return, he jetted off to Las Vegas to attend the Billboard Awards. At the awards show, Whitney's daughter, Bobby Christina, accepted the Millennium Award on Whitney's behalf. Several members of the Houston family were also in attendance, and they were seated in the same area as Ray J. According to E! News, the family was less than pleased with the seating arrangement and even tried to have Ray J arrested. Why such intense hostility? What made his presence so offensive to the Houston family? Was it grief clouding their judgment, or did they blame him for playing a bigger role in Whitney's final days? Cops arrived at the scene, but no arrests were made. Ray J had no comment on the matter, and the family denied they tried to get him arrested. A source close to the Houstons said they were there to honor Whitney. That was the only focus they had for the evening. Ray J wasn't even a thought. Billboard Awards did all the seating, and the Houstons never had any issues of any kind. After the awards, Ray J hosted a launch party at a Vegas hotel for a hair serum he was endorsing. Following the party, he was found unresponsive in his hotel room. According to reports, he was extremely disoriented and unable to get out of bed. Paramedics were called, and he was rushed to the hospital. His team blamed the episode on jet lag and exhaustion from his quick trip to China. By the end of 2012, he was sharing photos of himself in prayer, posting church locations on Twitter, and speaking publicly about his spiritual journey. He told Sister to Sister magazine, "God is working through me. Everybody's under construction." Was it a genuine rebirth or a public relations rebrand? Years passed, but the narrative never quite went away. In 2017, while filming Celebrity Big Brother UK, Ray J finally cracked.
It's all my fault.
What?
Yeah. It's all my fault. All of that happened?
No, that's not.
No.
What do you mean?
Just was my fault. I wasn't there.
He also claimed media outlets had offered him millions of dollars to speak on Whitney's passing, but he turned them all down. He said, "I don't need that money. That's not good money. My karma would be bad." Whether he loved her, used her, or simply witnessed too much, Ray J will always be haunted by the events that transpired, and the world will always wonder what really happened in that hotel room. Speaking of the room, the hotel suite was taken out of rotation after the hotel was overwhelmed by requests from guests to stay there. But in recent years, the room is once again available for guests. A rep for the Beverly Hilton said, "Out of respect to the family and fans of Whitney, all original content and furnishings of the guest room where she stayed were removed, and the space has been thoroughly refreshed." In November 2024, Ray J appeared on Pastor Jamal Bryant's podcast.
"Wait a minute, child, not the pastors got podcasts too. Jesus, take the microphone away. Fix it, Black Jesus."
During their chat, Ray J referred to his public persona as a character. He also called himself a liar multiple times. He then detailed a trip he took to Cancun, where he ended up hanging off the hotel's roof. He said, "I climbed over and I laid and I went to sleep and I said, if I fall off, then it was meant to be." He went to sleep for about 2.5 hours before the hotel staff rescued him. He said he had to go through a series of tests. And while it was all going down, he said to himself, "Yo, you want to make your family proud, but you're living a lie." He later clarified that while there were several moments where he wanted to take his life, that particular incident was his first attempt. Before the podcast was released, Ray J told Pastor Bryant that he would snatch him off the pulpit if he released the interview. The pastor was utterly confused, and Ray J later apologized for his aggressive language. He said, "Speaking that kind of language to a pastor is unbelievable. It's uncalled for. It's disrespectful. It's distasteful. It's disgraceful in every sense." Now, let's rewind a bit to Ray J calling his public persona a character and referring to himself as a liar, because those two statements alone deserve a deeper analysis. When he referred to his public persona as a character, he unintentionally touched on a very real psychological phenomenon known as self-alienation or identity splitting. In psychology, this doesn't necessarily mean a full-blown split personality disorder, but it does suggest a disconnect between the true self and the performed self. Calling himself a character also hints at a psychoanalytic theory known as ego splitting, where someone creates a facade or alternate version of themselves to survive fame, trauma, or emotional dysfunction. It's often a defense mechanism, especially in the world of celebrities, where vulnerability is dangerous and image is everything. Repeatedly calling himself a liar may reflect internalized shame, where he's acknowledging the mask he wears but hasn't yet come to terms with why he wears it. Psychologically, this performance versus reality split can lead to depersonalization, emotional instability, and eventually burnout, especially when the person feels trapped in an identity that no longer serves them. In Ray J's case, the more he leans into the character, the more it seems like he's trying to avoid dealing with the man behind it. As of this video, the mystery around Ray J and Whitney's alleged relationship still lingers. It exists in that murky space where tabloid gossip, unconfirmed reports, and scattered eyewitness accounts swirl into a narrative that's never fully clear. In recent years, Ray J's behavior has been erratic and chaotic. He's displayed social media outbursts, a string of impulsive decisions, and an on-again, off-again marriage with Princess Love that has been laced with turmoil and drama. According to attachment theory, unresolved trauma can significantly impact how people form and maintain relationships. A study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that individuals with unresolved loss or emotional trauma are more likely to develop anxious or avoidant attachment styles in adulthood. That means they either cling too tightly to partners or push them away when intimacy gets too real. This pattern seems to mirror Ray J's relationship history. At the tail end of 2024, Ray suggested that someone was trying to end his life and that his car had been vandalized. There are way too many incidents for us to discuss in this video, but each one has fueled even more speculation about his mental state. We can't be sure that all of his issues are directly related to losing Whitney, though. In March 2025, during a Twitch live stream, Ray J revealed that his babysitter took advantage of him at a young age. That kind of early violation can fundamentally alter how a person sees themselves, others, and the world around them. Psychologically, childhood trauma, especially of that nature, can fracture a person's sense of safety, self-worth, and trust, setting the stage for lifelong emotional conflict. Apparently, his family is extremely concerned about him. After he appeared on Kai Cenat's live stream and expressed interest in joining one of the creator's infamous sleepovers, suggesting they shower together as a group, that prompted his sister to reach out. Ray J shared Brandy's text message where she wrote, "Come on, Ray, what's going on with you? You're so much better than this." Ray posted a screenshot of their text and an emotional response saying, "My sister hates who I am, and all I'm doing is being myself." He also admitted to feeling alone, especially while navigating his divorce from Princess. He apologized to Brandy and their mother, but admitted to feeling like he was spiraling. Whitney was one of the greatest vocalists of all time and spent some of her final years in the company of a man who continues to spark questions, raise eyebrows, and draw attention for all the wrong reasons. And while no one can definitively say what Ray J's role was in her life or her passing, the fact that his name continues to be mentioned in the same breath as hers says something about the way their lives became entangled. Did he love her? Use her? Try to help her? Or did he simply find himself in over his head with someone whose life was already unraveling? There may never be a concrete answer, but as long as Whitney's legacy lives on, so too will the questions about what really happened behind the scenes in those final, tragic years and why Ray J was there to witness it all.